Hi, Dorka. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Hanging in there.
Can you talk about how physical play has become and how much teams are packing the lane against you guys and how you need to respond to that?
Yeah, I think just being a basketball player or, any type of athlete, a game is a physical game. I think that's a part of basketball. It's a part of a lot of other sports. It comes with it. I feel like obviously looking at just the evolution of basketball, it just becoming more physical and more physical, over the time. So that's just something that it's part of it. So obviously we have to, play through it. We have to be physical, and all of that above. So that's just something that we have to embrace. We have to play with it. We have to play through it, and make great plays. But I mean, as I said, it's just a part of it. And I think if you really like basketball and then and you watch it, that you see that it's just, in men's basketball, it's just a part of it. And I think it's gonna, keep becoming more physical and physical.
But how difficult does it make it for you guys as post players when they're packing the lane all the time and just forcing you guys to take outside jumpers?
I think it's definitely just a little bit, we have to rely a little bit on our outside shots sometimes. And that's on us. We have to make those shots. We've been practicing a lot, putting extra time into be consistent with those shots, because we know, most of the teams are gonna try to give those to us instead of just giving us like an easy, weight in the paint. So obviously me and Lily and all of the other post players had been working on, just being more consistent shooter from outside. And I think, that's just part of our versatility as well, that we can knock those shots in. So, just have the confidence. And if, teams are kind of in the paint, then we're just gonna go out there and knock those shots in and find a way to win with that.
Thank you.
Lila.
Hey, Dorka, hope you're doing well. Coach said after the Marquette game that you guys kind of as a collective group were kind of checked out, that mental fatigue had finally kind of caught up to you guys, and the kind of inevitability of that. Just, what does that difference feel like on the court, and how's that kind of manifest into, just mental errors throughout a game?
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree. I think this was maybe the first game, and not the first time that we felt that fatigue and tiredness, mental and physical tiredness, but this was the first time that I felt like we just don't have enough in the tank to even find a way to win. I think the whole season we've always found a way to win. We always find to, hustle it out. Somebody stepped up, somebody had a great day. Even if others didn't have, somebody had it, and then, just kind of find a way to win. And this time it was the first time that I think it was a hard situation where kind of nothing went our way. And I think we have to give credit to Marquette because they played an amazing game. They're very well coached. They have great kids, great players, and they took advantage of them. But I felt like that was the first time that it's just nothing went in our way, and we were just physically and mentally and emotionally fatigued and tired. But I think it's there's always two ways to go about this. It's either it's gonna break you this time of the season, or you come over this hurdle and find a way to win and keep winning and just get things together. That if that fatigue hits, that we have people that stepping up and getting through it. And unfortunately we didn't have that this weekend. And I think we all take responsibility for that, every single one of us. But I think going forward, if that moment comes, and we still don't have players back and we just have whoever we have right now, just we have to find a way. And I think that's on us players. We have to have better leadership. We have to be having people stepping up and just kind of get through that mental and physical fatigue. And we're looking forward to that. It's obviously not the end of the world. We have another game and so many other games left. So we're going to prepare for Georgetown, and find a way to win. I think that's just kind of our slogan for the year right now, with just limited numbers, is we're just have to find a way to win. And I think we're all in a good, mental space with that. And we're looking forward to play Georgetown.
Yeah, I mean, how as a group do you guys, you guys are a really close-knit group, have been for a lot of the last few years, just how as a group do you kind of regroup from that? Like, what conversations are you guys having to kind of, get back on the same page and have that right mindset going into the next game?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think just as competitors, having that loss, obviously that they just felt like it's the end of the world. Like, if you really like playing basketball and you love the game and you love winning, and, when you lose, that just feels like, everything is falling apart. So, that day it's kind of just, it's not really a day to like reflect and, talk a lot about it, because just the emotions are so high after that game. So, it was a day after yesterday, today, coming to practice, just we're regrouped. And I think, everybody is a professional in that way of, they know, like, hey, we don't have time to, feel sorry for ourselves, or like, what could I have done better in that moment, and, just take it all in their heart. But I felt like today is the day when, we regroup, we practice, we prepare for Georgetown. I think everybody's in a great mindset. The goal is still the same. And I think, it's always good to learn from losses. And this was the first loss that I felt like, it was just nothing that we could have like really done with the mental fatigue and physical fatigue. I think we gave everything we had for that game, and it was just not enough. So I think we can definitely learn from that. And I think, we're very, very strong women. We all love to win. We are competitors, so we're gonna find a way to win next time. So, but there's no time to be like, negative about stuff and look back and just kind of have an impact on you for the next game. So, it's a new day today. It was a new day yesterday, and we're looking forward to play Georgetown.
Thank you.
Yes.
Carl.
Dorka, how do you mentally prepare for a game, and have you found it harder to do when the season gets into February at this time of year before the tournaments? Obviously, it's a lot easier during the tournaments, but how tough is it for you now to be mentally sharp the way you want to be, and how do you try to be as sharp as you can be?
I think, it's kind of the same for every single game. Just having the preparation, I think it's super important to have 2 days or how many days of great practice that we have. Just make sure, we do everything right. Just pay attention to details and just have great practices. I think that's a key for our preparation, how our shoot around goes. Just that's kind of sets a tone to, how to start a game. And, I think that wasn't anything different about the Marquette game. Obviously, just having so many games that like that physical like fatigue part is something that we can't really control. And, that kind of sometimes lead to the mental mistakes of being tired, just not being able to be so sharp mentally on the court and, make decisions, have turnovers that, that should not happen. That's just a part of it. I think it's for us, it's more like just kind of how to get over that, even if we have physical fatigue in our bodies, in our legs, in our, like how can we control our minds and just being able to lock in a little bit longer, just, getting to that timeout, just have that 30 seconds or a minute or whatever long to kind of take a deep breath, like a big breath, and, just find a way to like not have that physical fatigue, putting a mark on our mental fatigue. But for preparation, I think it's, it's all the same. We want to win the game. And we always get amazing, game plan for our coaches. We always think super prepared. It's just, how things go in a game, obviously that affects a lot of things. So I think there are things that we can control as players, as a team, as coaches and everything. But there are some things that, like the physical fatigue part is just something that we have to deal with. And, I don't think we're the only team that's dealing with it in the whole, NCAA, but it's just something for personally like focusing on us that we have to figure out, and just get through that, mental fatigue and just being able to focus more and longer periods. And, I think I think we've been getting better with that, just playing for so long with the same rotation. I think we're getting better, but some nights like this Marquette game, it just didn't work out. But we're gonna find a way. We always do. So feeling pretty confident. We're gonna have a great practice today, and we're gonna head out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Maggie.
Yeah. How are you doing, Dorka? It's good to see you. Why do you think that fatigue kind of came to a head on Wednesday? I mean, you gave credit to Marquette for playing a good game, but why? You guys have been shorthanded the whole year. Why did it kind of come to a point, particularly on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to find the exact answer for that, but I just felt like, it's just been so many games, in this past, and having obviously playing South Carolina and coming up short, that takes a lot out of you, like mentally, just, giving all you have and still, coming up short in that big game, it could be a part of it. I don't know. We really can't exactly say what the answer was, but it's just, it's playing hard is always, I feel like we always play hard, and it's just sometimes take a lot out of you physically that kind of, as I said, lead to mental fatigue. And then, I think this was the first time I ever felt like in the season that we came to a game where it's just like, it just didn't work out. Like we couldn't find a way to win in that game. And, obviously looking back, there's a lot of things that we could have done better, but I felt like, just every single one of us is, done whatever we could to win that game physically and mentally. It was just not enough. But, I think it's part of the game. It's part of the season. There's always going to be ups and downs, wins and losses. And, we got to focus on the bigger picture and not, get caught up in one loss or, losing confidence over that. And I think we're doing we're pretty mature with that. I think, we're going to obviously bounce back and just learn from it. I think, we're going to have a film session about it, even if it's not going to be the prettiest thing that we see, but that's just something that we have to learn from. And, we all have to take accountability. I take accountability for my parts and, not being able to, step up enough for them to win that game. But, I think it's just part of our learning process, and it's still February. So we're going to keep moving forward with that.
And kind of following up, it's only been a couple of days, but what have you learned about yourself and how you personally deal with fatigue and come out of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's super challenging. I mean, I think just thinking back, it's been a very challenging, physically, mentally, emotionally season for, I think, every single one of us. I thought last year was like one of the hardest seasons, but I felt like this year is even more challenging just because, the load that we have to take sometimes and, and just playing so many games. But I think this is a great way to kind of learn about your character, and I think this season really reveals like how tough we are and how, how gritty, I think, like, how much grit we have as a team, and just we always, live it out on the court. And sometimes, you come up short, but it's definitely like a learning process for all of us to like how we can respond to all the punches, and the mental fatigue, the emotional fatigue, the physical fatigue, like all of that is just all something that we have to deal with. And to win a game like that's just a part of it. And I think that's just extra motivation for us to find ways of coping with these things, like do off the court stuff, just make sure we get enough rest. Like it's always good experiencing moments, like how can we get ready? How can we get our legs ready? Find ways to relax and all of that. So, I mean, it is what it is, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But we it's good to have, each other. It's good to know that, every single one of us next to me is going through the same thing, and it's good to have that team chemistry that we can rely on each other. We're in the same shoes, and, and let's just find together a way to, win games and win and, you know, get all of our goals that we set for ourselves before the season. But, you know, it's definitely been challenging, but it's also fun because, as you know, competitors, winning is what you desire, and just getting better, and it's been great. So,
Cool, thank you.
of course.
Last question for Dorka from Roger.
Dorka, most programs in the country lose 2 games in a row during a season. Are we making too much of the fact that you guys have lost 2 in a row for the first time in 30 years? Or do you guys feel that? Do you feel the weight of that and feel like, you know what, we're not supposed to do that as a program?
That is interesting. You know, I don't think we really thought about, you know, this losing 2 back-to-back games until obviously after the game, and we saw it everywhere. And, you know, I think it was just like an insane moment to see like how successful this program has been, you know, and just being a part of that, like, you know, like I think we all reflected as like, we're so grateful to be in a program that is just so successful. I mean, think about it. It's been 30 years, not 2 back-to-back losses, you know, like it's just insane. And obviously, I don't think we ever played the game, you know, to be afraid to lose it, to have that, you know, record being broken. I mean, I think most of us, you know, didn't even pay attention to that record ever. So, but then now that like obviously seeing it is just, I think it's just amazing that this is actually a stat that, you know, this program has built, and, you know, Coach Ariema has built over the years. And, you know, I just feel, I think we all feel like super blessed to be a part of this. You know, it's unfortunate that it ended, but, you know, I think it's just, we had some time to reflect that how amazing that is, that it's been going on for so long. You know, we were not even born when it started. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think it just shows how successful it is. And I think that's how we should look at it, and not have any type of feeling about, you know, that it happened with us. But yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. And I just feel, you know, I'm just being grateful to be a part of this, you know, historical team and program, and just, you know, wearing UConn jersey.